So it's true that in a steady state, we expect Amla to reach over 400 staff members. And then the question would be, do you think it's a little or a lot? And is it enough considering the tasks that we're putting, the mission really that we are entrusting this agency with? And my answer would be, and that's probably the most important message that I want to convey today, is that it would depend, and it really, really hinges on a few things that depend on not just on Amla itself, but also on this entire community of the national supervisors and national financial intelligence unit, where Amla is stepping into. The idea is that, again, it becomes a center of a system. It will be a coordinator, it will be a regulator, but it will do those things together with national authorities. Currently, what we have in the EU is everybody is responsible for their own turf, both in terms of supervision, but also to an extent in terms of working for production of financial intelligence, getting it and translating it into leads for the law enforcement, right? And that is not efficient because that is not how single market works, and that is not how criminals work. There are no borders within the EU. So what we are trying to get to is establishment of common sense of responsibility, really, for the successes, but also for the failures.
And so I would like, as an introduction to the discussion today, to raise what I find a quite relevant question, and which is whether the AML package and the establishment of Amla have the potential to address these inefficiencies. I would classify them in 4 categories of inefficiencies. First, the regulatory and supervisory fragmentation, which complicated the development of an EU approach to AML. So there was a critical need for consistency at the EU level and for a reduction of the national divergences. The second category of inefficiencies that were identified over the last years and prior to the presentation of the AML package is the fact that over the years the AML directives have developed into a very legalistic approach for AML, focusing very much on the compliance of obliged entities rather than on the effectiveness of the fight against financial crime, and so departing from the FATF principle of a risk-based approach.
What I think it's very important is Article 7, 8, and 9 of this regulation. Article 7 is somehow, proposing what we can find in Article 6 of the SSMR, so the principle of cooperation between the different authorities and the fact that the European authority is at the epicenter and it is coordinating the different jobs. So it is responsible for the good functioning of this system, of this framework. But more important than that, I would say, is Article 8, that is really the core of everything in some sense, because it says that within this framework, within this supervisory system, with the cooperation of national competent authorities, the AMLA should develop and maintain an up-to-date and harmonized AML CFT supervisory methodology detailing the risk-based approach to supervision of obliged entities in the Union. This methodology is shaping by means of the regulatory powers. So thanks to guidelines, recommendations, opinions, and regulatory technical standards that are provided for by the same AMLA regulation. So the core of this system is the development of a shared common supervisory methodology that will be shaped by means of the regulatory technical standards and soft law.
I'm not an expert in anti-money laundering and everything related to that, but the people I speak to, they say AML and such a new authority would be a classic field for establishing basically a huge database of financial transactions, combining databases from national authorities and also artificial intelligence to analyze such databases. Is something like that envisaged?
Okay, the very short answer is no, because all the suspicious activities and transaction reports are still going to first go directly to the National Financial Intelligence Unit. They will not go directly to AMLA. And that was very much on purpose, because all this data is analyzed very much in a context in each member state. There's a wealth of other types of data that is used to produce financial intelligence, to which only this national FIUs have access. And that starts with, but is not limited to, all the law enforcement data, the databases of the police, of the customs, of the judiciary, and so on and so forth. That is how it's analyzed.